How to structure your business day to be successful in wholesaling real estate. Hey guys, it's Rick Ginn, and today we are going to talk about what your day needs to look like in wholesaling real estate, and more specifically, the philosophy that is going to make you a successful wholesaler. But before I get into it, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button so you can receive videos just like this on the latest information on wholesaling today. So it's not uncommon to get this question, and me and Zach get it all the time, is like, what do you do? Like, what am I supposed to do as a wholesaler? I get the theory, I get the philosophy, but like seriously, what do I need to target my efforts on to become a successful wholesaler? And I'm here to break it down and make it super simple for you, because a lot of us spend a lot of time doing things that really don't push the needle on wholesaling. So let's get into it. Let's figure out how to structure an average day for wholesaling to be successful. Now, you have to think like this first. You have to think productivity. So let's think about this. A lot of us came from the corporate world, and if you didn't, God bless you. But if, like me, I worked 12 years for a corporation, and let's face it, you go into work somewhere between 7 and 9 to 10 hours a day. And the reality, study shows you're only productive for like 2 to 2.5 hours of the day. So what does that mean? Is most of the stuff you do when you go to a corporate job is just time wasting activities. Why? Because you're paid a general salary, maybe you get some commissions with it. And so it's not about being productive. It's about just getting a job done by a certain time. And so since we are not in the corporate world, we actually have to take the opposite take on this. So how can I be most productive because I'm not paid by hour? And so you have to look at everything from a productivity standpoint. And the reality is most of you are ingrained in the corporate world or the school world where you sit down at a desk, you go to school all day. The reality is you wind up napping through classes, not paying attention, or talking to the person in front of you, behind you. And the same thing happens in corporate world. How convenient. So now you've made this leap of faith to be an entrepreneur, to be a wholesaler, and you're like, how do I structure my day? I'm going to break it down and really simplify this for you. So as I said, we have to think about productivity. So in the end, it's about how many hours we're actually pushing the needle for you to grow your wholesale business and actually put money in your checking account. So what I want to do is start with the things that you must do to be successful in wholesaling. And we're going to talk about the productivity activities that actually push the needle. So a lot of people say you have to focus on only income producing activities. And I actually agree with this, because if you're not producing income, your business is not growing. And we constantly have to push to get contracts so we can sell them to cash buyers. And if you're not getting properties under contract, you're not going to last as a wholesaler. So it's fair to say you have to focus on things that are actually going to make you money, because if you do all the other stuff you did in your corporate career or what you did in schooling, you are not going to last in wholesaling. So let's break it down this in 3 simple categories of wholesaling. So we're going to have marketing, acquisitions, and dispositions. And I'm going to show you how to break this down so you can actually stay in the productivity lane. So the first one is marketing. What I think is the most important trait you can learn as a wholesaler. You have to learn how to market. Why? Because we need to find motivated sellers. So either the property's motivated, the seller's motivated, or they're both motivated, which is my favorite thing in the world. And we have to become very good at finding these people, because the old traditional ways that corporate America teaches you is go to a realtor, go on market, go on MLS. We're not going to do any of that, because those are the wrong places to look. If you don't believe me, go check out all my other videos. Wholesalers only focus on getting deeply discounted properties. And the only way you're going to get that is there's got to be some form of motivation with the house or the seller or both. So the first thing I'm going to do is if I'm a new wholesaler or I'm an existing wholesaler, I need to work on my marketing plan. How am I going to attack? What am I going to do? Am I going to do direct mail? Am I doing cold calling? Am I doing SMS texting? Am I doing door knocking? Am I doing reverse driving for dollars? Am I doing driving for dollars? And these are all marketing activities that you cannot go wrong doing. In fact, this is where a bulk of your money is going to be made. But once you come up with your marketing strategy on how you're going to attack and deliver it to it, you have to come up with a marketing list. And guys, don't overlook this. This is actually an income producing activity. Some of you argue with me. I don't care. But if you don't have a good list, no matter what you do afterwards, you're going to hit roadblocks. So it's fair to say you have to put some energy and time in getting the best marketing list possible. Now, if you want to learn the best marketing list possible, go to freewholesaling.com. We show you which ones to attack. You know I am completely biased towards government lists. Why? Because they work, they're free, but they're hard to get. And we show you at freewholesaling.com on how to attack it. Why? I need the highest motivation possible, especially being a newer wholesaler, because I'm not great at what I'm doing. So I have to have motivated people to even have a shot at getting a great deal. And that still holds true today. I've been doing this 21 years. One of the biggest problems I see when wholesalers get started is they don't focus on motivated sellers. They just look for properties for sale. That's what realtors do. Wholesalers go out and seek the motivation first, then go through and deliver their marketing message and negotiate with sellers. You see, if you negotiate with the wrong type of seller, it is a non-income producing activity. You're literally just wasting your time. And honestly, it's one of the biggest mistakes I see when wholesalers start out. Here's rule number one. You are never going to force someone to sell you their house. Now, if they're ready to sell and your offer is attractive to them and conditions are right, that is ripe for a wholesale deal. And that's what we're looking for. Number two, we're always going to market to off-market properties. Why do I say this? Because really in the beginning, looking at on-market properties is exhausting. It is a huge burnout factor, and you're going to have to go through thousands of leads just to find somebody. And 9 times out of 10, you're either going to get a stubborn home seller that thinks they know everything and they're better than any real estate agent, or you're going to have to go through a real estate agent. And once they find out you're a wholesaler, they're going to find every way to train wreck you. And this drives new wholesalers crazy. And for that reasons, if you just stick to the off market and find highly motivated leads through government lists, you can avoid a lot of these pitfalls. Because if you look for on market properties and you deal with people just selling their properties, in my opinion, it is a non-income producing activity. You waste a bunch of time. And honestly, it's the fastest way to burn out from wholesaling. Another marketing activity which people often overlook is networking, going to local real estate investment clubs, talking to your title companies, finding property management companies, finding bail bondsmen, going after garage sale leads, which I teach you all on how to do this. Guys, you have to go out and you're going to have to pound the pavement to find leads. So you're going to work your government list, and you can do this via phone calls, personal visits, emails, but you have to constantly keep turning. In fact, marketing, in my opinion, as I said earlier in this video, is the most important skill set you can have as a wholesaler. I've never met a wholesaler that's successful that doesn't do well in marketing. So if you don't understand marketing and how to get the list, do me a favor, go over to freewholesaling.com. Me and Zach will show you how to get started, but it is imperative that you focus on off-market motivated sellers, because everything else, in my opinion, is literally a waste of your time as a wholesaler. So the next one is going to be acquisitions. And this is just the art of meeting with the sellers, talking to the sellers, and most importantly, negotiating with the sellers. So you can never go wrong by meeting with the seller. And if you're new and you're on the fence whether to meet the seller, go, because you'll get a learning experience. And part of the journey of wholesaling is talking to as many sellers as humanly possible so you can learn on what to say, what not to say, and you can progress in your wholesaling career. So either you're going to be doing this locally or you're going to do it virtually, but meeting with the sellers in person or on the phone. Guys, this is where you really make your money. If you have the right marketing list, you pick the right marketing vehicle, you can never go wrong with meeting with sellers. And the more you meet with sellers, the better off you're going to be. Now, I'm here to tell you, as a newer wholesaler, you might have to meet with people on Sundays, Saturday evening. You do what you have to do. Remember, you're not in a corporate job. You are not in a 9-to-5 job. In my opinion, when that sun's up and the sun goes down, those are the prime hours. And that's where you want to focus on doing your income producing activity for wholesaling. Now, this is also going to include presenting contracts, renegotiating contracts, and doing everything you need to do with the sellers. And at this point, you're also going to work with your title company to present them the contracts and to follow up on your sellers to make sure they're complying, they're giving you all the information, the pull title. And at this point, we're going to reach over to the dispo side. And this is the point where you're selling your contracts to cash buyers. Now, hopefully at this point, you've already built up a cash buyers list. The reality is most of you don't do it, because I understand you're so focused on doing the marketing. It's not the end of the world, but it does put you in a slight disadvantage, because if you already had qualified cash buyers, it would be much quicker to sell your deals, your contracts. Now, if you don't, you're going to have to work extra hard, and you're going to have to get on the phone and find the cash buyers. Now, if you don't know how to do it, go over to freewholesaling.com. I teach you in grave detail on where to find them, and it's really not that hard. Remember, you're going to be reaching out through social media. You're going to scrape Facebook groups to find cash buyers. You can use Instagram, any of that. You're also going to go to local RIA meetings to find cash buyers, people you can work with. Don't forget your realtors that represent cash buyers. And once again, don't overlook your title companies. They have cash buyers built in. Guys, you have to spend some time doing this part. A lot of us overlook this, but if you overlook it completely, when you get a great deal, you're going to scramble to sell it, and you're going to sell it way cheaper because you have not set up your cash buyers. So remember, when you get a cash buyer, it's quality over quantity. You got to call your cash buyers and you got to vet them. Once you vet them, you can pair them up with one of your great contracts, and that's how you make an incredible profit on your assignment of contracts. Now let's talk about the things that you absolutely have to avoid as a wholesaler, especially if you're new to this business. You can't spend enough time doing the things I just explained to you. And if it takes you 10 or 12 hours, which is not uncommon when you're brand new to it, that's fine. Trust me, the learning curve will be cut down, but you're gonna have to put in the work. Why? Because it's new. It's wildly uncomfortable. And what happens when we get uncomfortable? We tend to start doing things that we already know or we're extremely comfortable. And so let me give an example of the things that you want to avoid as a wholesaler, because you're going to waste time. So remember, you're not in a corporate job. You are in the real world, and you are paid on how productive you are. So if you're working on logos, LLCs, you're overly consumed with your accounting and QuickBooks, you're spending hours on it, you're constantly struggling with the name of your company, and you actually put it out on like a Facebook group or Instagram and you have a poll on it. Guys, none of that stuff's going to make you any money. In fact, the more you spend time doing that, the worse wholesaler you're going to be. Nobody cares what your company name is. I'm sorry, I'm just going to tell you the truth. Your sellers don't care. Your sellers are basically working with you. They don't care what your company is. They don't care what your logo looks like. They don't give a crap about your website. How do I know this? I've been doing this for years. It's a joke. Guys, don't do a website. If you want something simple, just get a Facebook page and simply post up testimonials in there. Let them know what you're doing. And that's how most people will find you. It's free. You don't have to pay $60 or $100 a month. Stop using all companies that think you're going to help you out and save your business. Which leads me to the next one is avoid the marketing traps for wholesalers. Anyone who says, I will make your business easier, trust me, it's not easy. There's companies out there that say, listen, I'll just provide you the leads, you pay me per lead, and we'll all make a ton of money. Guys, if it was that easy, I would go to every one of them. I've tried every one of them out. Sometimes I break even, sometimes I lose money, but I've never really hit a home run with a lead generating service that I was not in control of. In fact, I'm here to tell you, I've never seen more shiny object syndromes for wholesalers than right now in 2024. In fact, right now, if you scroll through your feeds, you're going to find a one and done for you. They're going to tell you AI is going to do everything for you. They're going to qualify your customers. They're going to close your customers. Guys, honestly, don't fall for this crap because it never ends. It's going to keep coming. You actually have to do the hard work and you have to do income producing activities to survive. And the reasons why you fall for these traps or you do stuff that are non-income related activities is because you're uncomfortable. And the minute you get uncomfortable, it's human nature to find something you are wildly comfortable at. In fact, I will tell you early in my wholesaling career, I was a blue collar guy the way I was raised with my family and stuff. We mowed our own lawns, we washed our own cars. I could never fathom paying people to do that stuff for me because I was young and I could do it myself. And I remember it's like wholesaling when I was a lot younger. When I got wildly uncomfortable, you know what I did? I mowed the lawn. Why? Because it just made me calm. I knew how to do it. I like the smell of fresh cut grass. And it's not the fact that I enjoyed out there sweating, cutting the lawn. It's just I knew how to do it. And something in my psyche and my unconscious mind says, do something you're extremely comfortable. So when you start doing income producing activities and you're new to it and you're kind of forcing it and you're not killing time like you did in the corporate world, you feel uncomfortable. Stay there. That's where you want to be. That uncomfortable is how you grow in life and how you make yourself better and how you get out of the hole that you dug yourself in the first place. Trust me, when you're uncomfortable, you're making tremendous progress. What I don't want you to do is when you get wildly uncomfortable is switch over and become super comfortable doing things that are monotonous, that aren't going to make you a dime, like working on your logo, working on your website, or having a poll of what your company name should be. Nobody gives a crap. You can change the name 1,000 times. Don't worry about it. Don't spend any time on that. So I'm going to give you my last tip. So if we know most people are not much more productive in a 2-hour period, I want you to do time blocks. And I do this all the time. So if I'm going to start out and say I'm reaching out and talking to sellers from like 10 a.m., I'll go from 10 to 12. And I set a 2-hour marketing time block. And what I do is I either go through my cold calls, my SMS, or my follow-ups, whichever I'm going to do, or you can do them for each of them. And for 2 hours, I do nothing else. I do not have my phone active. It is on silent mode. Unless it is a catastrophic and emergency, I'm going 2 hours. Why? Because that 2 hours is like the average corporate employees of 8 hours. So if you do this 2 to 3 times a day, you can actually almost get 3 or 4 days worth of work done all in one day. I'm here to tell you, great wholesalers, the ones that do the best, like myself and my son, are people that do the same thing every day and they're quite redundant. It becomes second nature. It becomes boring. In the beginning, you're just going to have to use good old willpower to get it started, to get you uncomfortable. Once you get used to it and you form a habit, it's called a discipline. Once you do a discipline, you're going to change the trajectory of your wholesaling business. So guys, let me know which of these methods you're using to structure your wholesaling day. And remember, you are not in the corporate world. You have to produce. So nobody cares how hard you work or how long you did. At the end of the day, is how many people did you talk to? How many contracts did you write? How many conversations you had? And that's how you're going to be judged at the end of the day of your wholesaling career. Let me know in the comments which of these techniques you're going to use. And as usual, if you got value from this video, do me a favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. This is Rick Ginn. I'll see you in the next video.